So Ajit, welcome to Norway. Is it your first time here? Or?
It is my first time.
It is?
It is my
What do you
first
think first most?
You know, I think it's great. I mean, it reminds me a little bit about like Iceland.
Yeah.
I was in Iceland like a year ago.
Yeah?
So it reminds me a little bit like Iceland. But I think it's wonderful. I see a lot of people outside, young people.
Yeah.
So feels like a great city. I haven't spent a lot of time exploring it, but looks good.
You've been talking to marketers all day, different in this event. And what are your first impressions of Norway in terms of digital marketing? Are we far ahead? Are we on level? Are we behind? What do you think?
So, so a couple of things. One is, the audience itself, I'm not quite sure because I've not been able to judge exactly where they are.
Yeah.
But my sense is that based on, we do sell here. Lenovo actually has an office. We actually sell online.
Yeah.
So I've got a little bit more history about Norway. And what I found out is that we launched the Lenovo online PC business sales 2 months ago.
Okay.
And we already see the trends are like incredible.
Really?
Yeah. So my sense is that people are pretty, they're online. The market is well penetrated. I think there is a clear understanding of mobile and kind of the digital marketing.
Yeah.
What I'm not sure about is how evolved the local landscape is for digital marketing.
Okay.
Based on today's conversation, I think my sense is that they're not as far along as maybe somebody like US. But maybe they're not as far behind as some of the countries in Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
So they're somewhere in between, which is kind of great. By the way, the quality of the conference today was amazing. I don't think there was any one speaker who basically didn't speak about something that was really and deeply relevant to kind of what we're doing from a digital marketing standpoint. So in terms of quality of kind of what I'm seeing, it was really, really fantastic.
I totally agree. You talked a lot about data and big data in your presentation.
Yes.
How do you guys use data to make better judgments and to do the marketing better?
Yeah, so I have this advantage of actually running Lenovo.com, which has a huge audience worldwide. I was saying during the presentation that we get between 1 billion and 1.3 billion people visiting the site around the world in about 80 countries. So to me, that's really valuable data because people, when they come to the website, they do a number of things, whether they're interacting with content, whether they're buying, whether they're doing something on the site. It gives us a very clear view of what their intent is in terms of interacting with a brand like ours.
Yeah.
Our ability or my ability to actually take that information and use that as a way of testing some of the concepts or leveraging insights or understanding how people actually perceive our brand is very, very valuable in terms of how we continue our marketing going forward.
Yeah.
So, it all started with me kind of saying, okay, hey, we got this huge asset of people that basically interact with us.
Yeah.
And our ability to extract information, this is the single largest asset for us. And we need to be able to kind of get insights and information from them.
Yeah.
So that's how it started. And then it's gone on to become more and different things. Because data in itself, with social media coming on so strongly, it's also not just what happens on the site, it's also what happens outside of the site.
Yeah.
That's becoming suddenly much more relevant.
Yeah.
Because you kind of see customers and our competitors, everybody kind of talking about things that are relevant to them.
Yeah.
So suddenly you have an ecosystem that's well connected and .com then becomes the kind of the anchor.
Yeah.
But then you see people coming, people going, and you use that as a way of kind of understanding customer journeys, you understand customer preferences, you understand segmentation, you truly understand end-to-end how the customer actually perceives your brand.
Yeah.
Which is very, very powerful.
So with the website as your anchor, what kind of social media is most important for you guys right now?
So we are on most of the publicly available ones. It depends on some of the countries. If there are countries like in China, as an example, we have a huge following on Weibo and WeChat, which is not available anywhere else. In fact, in China, Twitter, Facebook are banned, so people don't use that. In the US, we use Instagram, we use Vine, we use Twitter, we use LinkedIn, Facebook. So all the formats that are available, we have figured out that our customers probably use it, and therefore they're relevant channels for us to have a conversation and be part of the conversation.
Yeah. Do you invite most of the users? Your goal is, of course, to get most users from these social networks onto your website. But what kind of content do you share on your website? Do you do content marketing from your blog, from your website, or do you use influencers and people like that to tell your stories and then link into your website?
You know, it truly, we run marketing very decentralized. We got a centralized kind of brand concept, and we kind of have a view of how the brand should be run. But when it comes to execution around marketing campaigns and sales, those sorts of things, it's very decentralized.
Okay.
So people actually run that in the country.
Oh yeah, smart.
Simply because localization is so much more important, and culturally it's so much more sensible to let the people in the region drive that. So that's what we do.
Okay.
In the context of branded content, you know, we do 1 or 2 major campaigns a year. And that's what primarily drives kind of the major headlights into kind of where we are going as a brand.
Yeah.
You know, we use Ashton Kutcher as our spokesperson. We kind of rally behind him to kind of talk and get our message out. And then the regions then take that information and then make it their own.
Yeah.
So they'll add the local flavor. They'll bring out. So if it's the product specific information, they'll talk about the product differently or in the context, and literally go run with it.
Yeah.
Right. So to the extent that social is involved in it, because it is almost impossible not to be part, you know, have social as part of that ecosystem today.
Yeah.
So people use all kinds of flavors. They use local celebrities. They use local blogs. They use local influencers. We use certainly the national influencers wherever it makes sense.
Yeah, of course.
But for the most part, we have to, like, as an example, you go to Brazil or Mexico. Makes no sense. Very locally, they've got talented people who talk about this stuff. You really need to be part of that conversation.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're not going to be heard, or it's not going to be relevant.
True. Okay, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Awesome.
All right.
Awesome, dude.